Hello, welcome to this video that I'm very awkwardly starting. Anyway, right, so this will probably be, I don't know, maybe my second video? I haven't actually filmed the intro to my first one yet, because I haven't even edited it all together, but I think I pretty much finished that one anyway, in terms of filming, so I'm just continuing to film the next one. Anyway, hello. Welcome to me, the chaotic mess of a person that I am, and inevitably will be my channel and upload schedule, because I've got no clue how any of this is going to go down, and I've sworn in the first minute. Basically, I have got a plan for something I've been wanting to do for a while. It's been one of those things where, because I was spending a lot of my time trying to get into DJ CAD and working on my portfolio, it was something I wanted to do for a while and was just constantly saying, oh, I'll do it when I get into DJ CAD. I'll do it when I actually get in. And now I've gotten in and there's a lot of stuff I want to do. A lot. There's definitely I think I've already mentioned this like 5 times, but I'm that sort of person. I will continually mention the same thing over and over again. Prepare for that. But I'm basically going to split them up into different videos. So this is going to be the first one of the videos, and basically it's going to be making a topper for this glass jar. I just got this glass jar at Morrison's. I don't really like the fact it's got the 2 sit sides. I already filmed something, a little plan, and also be doing some of the resin stuff before the start of this video, so I knew kind of where it was going. So I've already said a lot of this stuff. But I don't really like the sides. I think that one side is fine, so it could sit like that, but I don't know why that's even there. Anyway, basically, the plan is to make a sort of like ice cream swirl out of silicone on top. I'm not going to do anything on the sides because the sides will be what you kind of grip to help twist it. I might put like a bit of ribbon, maybe put lace, a bit of ribbon on top of it, to make it look cute and fit in with the sort of style of it. Maybe paint it to look like, I don't know, ice cream cone or something. Like, I'll decide that probably a lot later on because I don't know right now, and I don't even know if this is gonna look good. So I don't even know if this is all just for naught. But yeah, I have already started. I already made a lot of stuff for it, which I'll show in the next clip. But yeah, I'm definitely really excited for it. I definitely think there's a lot of waiting still to go. I'm waiting on a star nozzle or 5 of them from eBay, and that'll be basically what I use to obviously do the actual swirl with the silicone sealant. I definitely think this is going to be an interesting one to do. It's not going to be the longest process, I don't think. I don't have to learn something as of yet. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't think it's going to be like a lot of the stuff which will include sewing, which I do have a sewing machine. Well, I mean a mini one, but I have, you know, a sewing machine, and it's something I haven't learned to do, and I haven't looked up anything for it yet. When I did resin, my research for resin, I basically did like a good at least 5-6 hours, like just researching and taking notes and watching a bunch of videos and all that jazz. And there's definitely a lot I learned from those. Some of them I didn't implement the first time I used resin, but I'm not really caring too much because some of them were a bit like, oh, this is kind of unavoidable in the first turn. Like, for example, bubbles coming from the sticks. What are they called? They're like lollipop sticks. Yeah, lollipop sticks. You can stop using resin, but I didn't really want to like use up a bunch of my UV stuff right off the bat, and I wanted to get this done, so hopefully I could get it demolded before work tomorrow, but like I'm gonna have to do it after work because I want to make sure it waits that full 24 hours so it's like properly set in, although it would probably be longer than 24 hours in reality. But yeah, that's this video. So next I'll probably be showing my idea a bit better for what I want to do and the materials and all the stuff I have already, and then I'll probably be onto making this stuff for it, I suppose. So yeah, see you in the next bit. Plan is I want to make a sort of topper for this jar. I want to make a sort of ice cream, what's it called? Soft syrup sort of spiral. I don't know like how big, probably like, I don't know, that much off maybe, not much off, like not too tall, but I want it to look quite even on the outskirts of things, so I believe that this lid is literally just made of plastic and the jar is glass, so I think this is a good base. I think what we're probably gonna do is make sure I'm not too far off. Basically, this is the lid. And then I'm thinking of doing a cone of foam. Either like a straight up cone like that maybe gives a little bit of a ridge so that that first kind of roll can kind of stick to it and then kind of obviously come up and create that step. Or possibly make a tiered cone so that like each roll is a little bit more towards it and a little bit more even, because I feel like that might be slightly easier to do than just this one. So I might go with this one. I'm not sure. My plan is for the actual like cream, ice cream, whatever, is to use silicone sealant. I think it's also called caulk. I don't know, it sounds a lot like a different word. People say it. Apparently those two are like interchangeable. People call sealant caulk and caulk sealant. So yeah, I'm probably gonna try it with sealant. I have seen someone, can't remember exactly the name off the top of my head, but someone on Instagram, will put their handle here, they did a video where they showed, I think it was a dragon statue, sort of clay thing that they made, and they used it to like do sort of like a cream sort of, I think it was like a chocolate and cream, cookies and cream dragon or something like that they did. Can't quite remember, but enough for rambling, goddamn. But yeah, my plan is to use a star nozzle for this one, so it would kind of help create some lines, hopefully make it look a lot more like ice cream on top. I was originally going to cover the sides, not necessarily with chalk, but possibly like a ribbon, maybe a little lace ribbon or something. I was thinking of possibly doing even a little like stuffed, like toy stuffing, and then kind of like a ribbon here, and then it kind of continuing on like that, almost like a jam jar sort of deal. Your deal. But I don't think it could work, but I don't think it's necessarily what, I don't know, I wouldn't add the cream to it. I think definitely it would be do this first and then anything I want to do on second later. And I think having like a full bit of cream right there, I think isn't really going to work. I think it's far more likely to slide off, and it'll be really tricky to make sure it looks good. I think it would just be easier just to start with that, and then if I want to continue on down, maybe I'll do that, but I can do that after. So what I'm wanting to have on it is definitely some gummy bears. I've actually already started making those. Those are downstairs. I'll probably show the process of that after this, but I technically did it beforehand because they're still curing, yeah, not cooling, curing. I definitely want some gummy bears. I think they would look quite nice on it, and I was thinking I could possibly do more of these. Part of me wants to sell them, but I think the biggest problem with selling them would be the weight of it. Like the weight of that glass. I would either need to get like this, which is an old plastic, I think it's from Body Shop. I think it was like a lime body scrub thing. Like a plastic one like this that has that similar sort of flat top and enough of an edge around it where you can get your fingers on to spin it. I could do that, but like again, we'll see how everything goes with this first thing. So gummy bears, and I have these already made, which I think I've already shown. I think I was sanding them in an earlier vlog. These, which are basically supposed to be these little twin stars Remini candies, which are so good. I think they're a little bit better than like the other Remini ones you get, because I got peach ones because I really like the peach one, but I feel like they're a lot more powdery. These ones were a lot more compact and just really nice. So I tried to do those stars. Turns out stars are like a very hard shape to do apparently. So I have a bunch of stars, and these are just done with clay, and I have a bunch pink and white marshmallows. I was thinking of possibly painting some of these marshmallows like yellow or orange, like pastel colors, because I do remember having like a, what was it, it was like a bag. We got it at our local delicatessen, which doesn't exist now. And it was a bag of like pink, yellow, orange, and I think green, like pastel marshmallows. And they had a clown on them, and that's all I remember. But those were quite nice, I remember. But yeah, so those would be kind of dotted around the place too. I'm trying not to overstuff it with too much stuff. I have plenty, but then again, my plan is to possibly do even more of these, so I'm not too worried, really, in trying to make sure that these forgot what I was saying halfway through. But yeah, that's sort of what we're looking at, I think, as a general rule. I was also thinking of doing like a sauce, of just getting like a resin, I think. Yeah, just resin, like a kind of use alcohol ink, make a kind of see-through resin, and then put it, I don't know if I want to do it on top. I might do it so it's underneath. I think that kind of looks a bit better than having it on top. But that's what we're looking at. That's kind of the plan, I think. So for the resin gummy bears, I used this kind of red, because I used these chameleon pen. I have a bunch of the marker felt ink because I did the Kickstarter for the color tops, and these are like really good. I'm not gonna lie, I don't use them as much as I should. I need to use them more, but these are quite good, and the ink was really good from when I mixed it, so it's pretty nice. I think it was 4 I used as well. I did a little Frankenstein one as well because I had like a little bit left over of each, so I decided just to chuck it in just to see what would happen. And so we'll see later on how that turns out. Yellow one. Black in it, for that too much. The pink, I think I use PK for. Every time I say PK, I immediately just think of PK Fire and PK whatever the fuck. From what Mother. That's the series from Mother. I can't remember exactly which one. I suppose that PK one's pretty good for like all the pink boys and stuff. Is blue too the one that's really light? Yep. You can barely see blue too on it, which is really good if you just want to do like really quick, sort of like try something out before you commit sort of deal. So yeah, that's vaguely what it's gonna look like. I'm thinking of possibly doing like a red sort of thing on top, like that sort of red sauce. That is the plan. Look a little bit more like it's the jar. Yeah, so I think that's kind of gonna be the plan. I'm pretty excited for this. I think I love how the marshmallows turned out. I haven't sanded them down, but I think they just look really good. The way I did it, they're so simple to do. Basically just like pinch it around like that, and then I usually flip it, because this one you can maybe kind of see it's a little bit lopsided on the bottom, because it will tend to kind of like make a little cone, sort of wider at the bottom, closer at the top when you do it this way around. So if you just switch it around and then keep rolling it, it usually kind of evens out. And yeah, I really love how they all turned out. Like they all look like marshmallows because the marshmallows are not perfect. So I think that was really good. The Ramen stars, I wish they kind of came out a little bit better. I think the orange ones are slightly better. I think the problem is like I was obviously sanding them, trying to get them further closer down, but I think one of the biggest problems is the fact that it's like when you're sanding, you're trying not to sand too much off and trying to make sure you have plenty left. So that's basically going to be my plan, I think. I also have these, which are just little charm things that I got from Wish. I was thinking of possibly I could use some of these. Some of them I think I could definitely use. Others, I don't know if they'd match what I'm looking for. Oh, let me see the other one. Yeah. No, I think for what I have, I think this will do fine. I don't really have anything in particular that I'm storing in this jar. Like I was thinking I could store my marshmallows because I quite like marshmallows with my hot chocolate, and I think it will look quite nice. I definitely think sort of this sort of kind of more wider than like tall. I think this one's kind of tall when you look at it. Obviously I've just drawn it, but I think definitely if I aim for something a little bit wider, I think it'll look a bit better. But plan for this bad boy is to get everything ready. So once I have gummy bears done, and once I have the foam steps done onto this, I think we will basically be ready to start. I don't really know how long you have with silicone to actually like mold it properly, and I don't think it's a particularly long thing. I think you only have like a few minutes. But if I have everything ready to hand and I get it all into the bag, the piping bag, well, I mean, I'm not planning on using a piping bag, I'm planning on using like a plastic bag, and then putting that into a piping bag to use the star nozzle. Hopefully that should work. But I'm still waiting on the star nozzle, and we're just waiting on the resin gummy bears to cure. Yeah, I think that's for that one. I definitely want to do some different ones. I think you could totally very easily do like a themed one. If this turns out quite well, I think I will look into seeing about getting either some bigger jars like this or getting some smaller ones that I can then sort of do the same thing to. Like this sort of plasticky one that's very, very lightweight. I think this would just be so much easier to ship because I think just the weight, like I could never ship this overseas. Like I could technically, if you are in the UK and you have like a Morrison's actually sells this, then I could easily make like a foam sort of base and then do the steps and stuff and do all this onto that rather than onto the lid like I'm planning on doing. But yeah, I think it'd be very easy to do different things with it. For this video, it will be straight onto actually making it. Actually no, probably demolding the gummy bears first, and then probably onto actually like gathering everything to make it and making it. So I hope it goes well, because it's probably going to be like a good while from now when I build it. Anyway, so I'll see you in the next bit. Just joking, I actually forgot to say something. Okay, so over this past week I've basically been making these little kind of clay charms. Originally they'd go in like shakers and stuff, particularly for these like moons and the lightning bolts I just pulled out and all that jazz. But I have also been making these sort of like little sticks, like it was just basically rolling out a bit of clay, and then once a little line of clay dried, and then just chopping them up into these little bits for like sprinkles and stuff. Apparently you can use food safe sprinkles, because my plan is just to cover this in like a resin, maybe like UV or something, just to make sure everything kind of stays in place and it's like nice and together. But yeah, like I've also made these sort of balls, and yeah, actually in most of them I've like got these sort of like little balls and stuff, and then I have these like circular discs that I've just kind of put together. This one I don't. And I don't know why I didn't do the circular ones, I must have just forgone for those. But I have a bunch of different colors, some of them a little less, like this yellow. I think I need to go in and make more. But I was thinking on possibly also having sprinkles in there, and basically I probably use, because we kind of have orange, pink, red, yellow, blue sort of color scheme. It's a little wide. I'd maybe say if I were to change anything, I'd maybe say the little tin stars one, I maybe would have not made it blue but made it yellow. Actually, I still have time to do that, so maybe I can go ahead and do that, but that'll be a little bit later on down the line. So I might change out the blue for yellow and maybe use the blue in a different one. But yeah, I plan on, you know, using some of these sprinkles as well. I used a bit of tape to kind of make the sides of the bags, because these are just cut off from bigger ones, but kind of definitely stuck to the sprinkles. So not the best, but not the worst. They seem to come off like fairly easily. So sprinkles are definitely something that I want to have as well. So I'd maybe have pink, red, orange sprinkles, I'm thinking is going to be my plan for those. And then I might do yellow, do some more yellow little twin stars. Still got a good bit of time to go, so it's not necessarily like I need to do it right now. As I said before, I'm probably going to end up doing a bunch of this later on. I could definitely have a look and see about like possibly doing, oh, there goes the clouds. Possibly doing a bunch of different ones. Also, I really like how some of these clouds turned out. This one not so much, to be honest. But I do quite like them, and I think that might be nice, like having some clouds Now I get distracted. Having some clouds about, and I can even do like, I don't know, I just think that, you know, at the end of the day, they're very, very versatile, is that the word? Customizable, maybe? But there's a lot of different things you can do, and I feel like they're not the hardest thing to do. Like, I haven't actually done it yet, so but I feel like, yeah, again, versatile, you can do lots of different things, and I plan on making a few different variations. If this one does look really nice and I do find an alternative like this, I probably will sell them, because I do think they're just so darn cute, and I think there'll be people out there who'd really love them. So yeah, I'll see you in the next clip, because I don't think I've missed anything, so hopefully not. Oh, I love to do like a Halloween one. Oh, anyway, right. Before I get too much distracted, I'll see you in, I suppose, the demolding clip, unless there's something else I've forgotten. This freezer needs to clean. Anyway. Right. So I'm gonna do, there's my framing. I'm gonna do resin today, and I'm out in the garage because you need ventilation to do resin. And I'll need to set up a little workspace that isn't going to get moved, hopefully. We do have an old table in here, and the freezer probably isn't the best place because we're probably going to end up coming in here. But anyway, let's look at what I have. Woo! Blue vinyl gloves, just generic gloves. I hope they're big enough. Hopefully should be fine. I haven't actually tried any yet, but there we go. Some clothes. I have everything falling over. I also have respirator mask thing. This one's rhino apparently, but yeah, just generic sort of mask. Most of this I got on Amazon because easiest place to get it, particularly considering we're still in a lockdown. And then we have toothpicks. I've heard that they're pretty good for getting bubbles out. In particular, if you have like any indents in your molds and stuff like that. Next I have alcoholic inks. These are for alcohol markers for chameleon pens. As far as I've seen, they just say alcohol ink and they just appear to be alcohol ink. So, and I have heard that alcohol ink is pretty good for resin. So hopefully these should work. These specifically are going to be with the gummy bears. I am doing another bigger mold today, but I'm also just filming for the gummy bear stuff. The actual gummy bear mold. It's a blue silicone mold that I got from Wish. I have this other mold that I got from an Etsy seller. Name up. Boom. Yeah, I got from them. It's basically a Pokemon card shaker thing. So you can actually, it's the size that you can put a Pokemon card in here, which I think I have. I have a Pokemon card. This one. Because I have a bunch of him and I decided it was better to kind of use one that wasn't really needing to have excellent. And then this is just a list of things that I'm going to have like in the actual resin for it and also in the shaker part. Now, I don't know how old this is. This has not been used. I don't see a date on it. I'm hoping this will work and not explode in my hands. So hopefully that'll do good. Okay, but a heat gun. I did originally plan on buying one, but I think hopefully this one will do, at least for now. So these aren't for the gummy bears, they're actually for the Pokemon one. These are mica powders. There we are. There are a bunch of mica powders from Arteza. I bought them mainly because this had a really good range. A lot of other ones, they were also in like plastic baggies, and these ones are in actual jars like these, which I think is a bit better than just, you know, a little bag that I'm probably not gonna spill everywhere. Particularly because I've heard that mica powders can go quite a long way if you know, don't just spill them everywhere. So, mica powders. I have some silicone cups, which again, just got off of Wish, a few different sizes. Some baby wipes, because I've heard that baby wipes are really good for cleaning up any spills and things like that, so definitely. And then I have this, which is just resin, 2-part resin, the whole deal, sorry, deal. I'll unpack that a bit later and show you it. But just in a little box right now. So that's pretty much everything I have. I need to go get some plastic bags and make up my little table thing. Shouldn't be too hard to do so. I think there's plenty of stuff in here that I can use. Hopefully I can actually set up a proper table, that'd be nice. But yeah, this is all I have for today. I do have UV resin and other such things, but for now, this is what I need to make the things that I want to make. So yeah, and we shall begin. Okay, now, so as you can see, oh, I'm really quickly gonna start again. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh no, yeah, wait until you hit the click. Okay, hello, welcome to this video. Yeah, we're starting off with a bunch of fast forward footage because it is just, that is the next thing that I was doing on this project, and I didn't want to put it into the last video because then it would have been a lot of just sped up footage towards the end. So yeah, I went with the step idea, so I used this thicker foam, this thicker foam, and I was basically using glue. Well, actually, yeah. I would traced out in a filter pen, so I kind of knew about where it was going to sit. And then I was using a glue gun and then gluing that down onto the lid. I would then take I think the strips are about 1 centimeter wide, and I think this foam is like 9 millimeter thick. I think it's 9 millimeter. I can't remember if it's 9 or if it's 6. I'm pretty sure it's 9. Because it definitely does look very close to the centimeter that I've cut for the thing itself, the foam even. So yeah, I was just basically making it into a circle, and then I was using a bunch of spare kind of cuts of foam that were like big enough that I could still use them, and I was then putting that on top of the circle of foam, as you can see here. So then I had a base for the next step to go on to. Oh yeah, I was also thinking as well, it might have been an idea to put maybe a smaller ring of foam onto the inside, so then it doesn't bow like it is right now. It kind of bows into it. It isn't like that big of an issue, but it is something to maybe think about next time round, or if I do something else, like just to make sure that the second layer does kind of have enough support for it. I don't really know how much else to say. But yeah, I think this worked out quite well. I'm glad I went with the step idea. I think if I didn't go with the step idea, I'm not sure how well it would have turned out, because it definitely allowed, because the amount I used, it definitely did end up allowing it to kind of swirl around properly. So yeah. This is a fairly long clip, I'm not gonna lie, of me just doing kind of a very, very similar thing. But yeah. Okay, when you hit the next clip, that's when starting the video again. Okay. So yeah, so yeah, if you're doing this along with me, so after this I am like putting on the silicone sealant after this, and I'm putting all the stuff onto it. I definitely ended up overloading the amount that I used. I think I should have just stuck to using a few of everything rather than trying to fit everything onto it. In particular, I think that with the amount of stars that I had, I think it really ended up blocking out a lot of the space that I could have used for other things. I actually didn't end up using sprinkles. I can't remember whether I said this in the final thing or not. I don't think I did, but I didn't end up doing sprinkles, and I think that was perfectly fine. I think the sprinkles probably would have crowded it a bit too much. I think really sprinkles is an idea where you don't really have a ton of how do I say this? You don't really have like a ton of stuff on it, or you have maybe bigger things onto it, and you want to kind of fill in some of this empty space without doing anything too specific, or just to kind of give it a bit of color, something like that. I think sprinkles would work. So yeah, I'm on to kind of the last loop. I believe this is the last loop now, and then it'll be onto the actual like silicone sealant bit. For the silicone bit, I did like use, I think, just plastic bags, and I used up a good chunk of the sealant. I think I used up like almost all of it, so it definitely took a lot of work. I do kind of at the end talk about possibly like cutting off half the pipe so it still kind of gives that outer look, but the inside is just like smooth. But yeah, I don't know if it would have been worth the effort, to be honest. Like, sealant is not that expensive, so. But then again, using all of it on this one product like would mean that, like, you know, the expense, because you're using almost the whole thing on it, the expense of it would go up. But yeah, I'm trying to think of the desperately something else to say, because I've got another bit of fast forward to talk through as well. I think that it did turn out quite well. I think I did kind of end up having to refill the bag at one point. Oh, I did do an extra tier. After this. But I did end up having to fill the bag at one point, so there was kind of a disconnect between like the kind of swirls at that point.